Hina apologizes that she didn't meet Hizuru's companions. She makes reference to that Hizuru is different than others as generally they are frightened of her. Since there were gossipy tidbits about a phantom at the facility, Shurta had prohibited her to meet with individuals. Hizuru ponders who is Shurta, and Hina noticed it's confidential, however uncovers he is ravenousness in bodily form, and that is the reason it has 4 arms. The two keep on hanging out and mess around, with Hizuru frequently bringing snacks for Hina, who feels she is getting more ravenous and can't stand it. At some point, Hizuru meets Jinjiro Nizu, who cautions her it's hazardous as there are snakes in the timberland. Jinjiro agrees with Hizuru that it isn't dangerous for him, but he also mentions that he is paid to hunt snakes. Asako and Ryanosuke check the Kobe store, hearing that Hizuru brought snacks and plan to eat them with a companion, causing them to acknowledge she is meeting Hina. To provide Hizuru with some water, Ryanosuke makes his way toward the clinic. He hears something while he's on his way, so he checks it. He sees Hina, who was horrendous and eating a little creature. Shinpei understands this is terrible and shouts for Hizuru, who winds up hearing him, however at that point believes it's her creative mind. She then witnesses a flash, and upon examining it, she discovers Hina standing over Ryanosuke's demise. Hizuru is unsure whether she did it. Hina returns to her sense, and transforms into Ryanosuke. She begins denying it, and as she hollers, a glimmer happens and her eye is blown away. Hizuru wears a mask over her left eye, leaving her right open to the light. Hina then retreats into her shadow, in pain. A mother and child-like pair of stray, incomplete shadows appear. The kid's shadow runs towards Hizuru, yet Jinjiro shows up and assaults it. A glimmer happens and the mother's shadow transforms into Jinjiro. After that, Shadow Jinjiro attacks Jinjiro and cuts his eye. After hearing her brother, Hizuru grabs Jinihiro and flees. Hizuru is now under Ryanosuke's control as the shadows follow them. He takes note of that he saw as her and had brought water. Ryanosuke pulls out the knife Jinjiro threw and stabs the child's shadow after the shadow jumps at Ryanosuke. Ushio understands that Ryanosuke's information bobbed of Hina and entered Hizuru. Shadow Jinjiro comes behind Ryanosuke, yet he predicts it and avoids. Then tosses Jinjiro to the ground and kills him. Sometime from that point onward, Hizuru chooses to leave the island and Asako gives her a goodbye letter. Hizuru sees Hina as she leaves with the boat. Hina tells Hizuru that she is letting her go because they were friends, but that she will kill her the next time. Shinpei circles back to them heading towards the Kobayakawas and tells Ryanosuke they shouldn't go. Hina circles back in Shiori. She realizes that the starting point is getting later as she confirms the time and the last times of the loop's Shurta. The 4-armed shadow thinks it's because Shinpei is losing power. Shiori is fine that they continue to allow Shinpei to circle, as that will give him less and less time, until he arrives at his breaking point. In this way they ought to zero in on killing him than keeping him alive. After 1 hour, Shinpei carries a food to Hizuru and tells her he understands that Ryanosuke's mind entered within her. Shinpei is led to believe that Hizuru wants Ryanosuke to not fight because she loves him and wants to protect him. However, Hizuru reveals that he is a strain on her body and that if he really fights, he will sever her body. With Hina's mark on Shinpei, they can lure her wherever they want, and Hizuru believes that Mio will attack again but will ignore Mio once more and go after Shinpei. Ushio, on the other hand, imparts her memories to others so that they are aware of the events of previous loops. Shinpei talks before their gathering. He admits that his life has been filled with mistakes, and he has many regrets. However, he has made the decision that if he thinks he will regret something, he will try to avoid it, even if that means running away. He wants to inherit Ushio's will to stop the summer festival from happening again and fight the shadows. He can't promise them that they will win, yet can't advise them to run assuming they are apprehensive. He asks them to fight alongside him so that they don't feel like he forced them to. In the meantime, Jinjiro is up a slope, noticing and pondering from where the shadows will come. He hears something and threatens to use his blade, however turns out to be a creature. After a second, Shadow Mio cuts him in the head, killing him. Tetsu suggests to them that Shinpei is insane and wants them to die with him. Ushio asserts that Shinpei adores them all and that it is fine to support those you care about. Mio and So both agree to fight alongside them. They have no idea how many shadows are on the island, according to Takiko, and they have no chance, especially if Hina is also looping back. Notwithstanding, she had as of now passed on in different circles, so she chooses to trust Shinpei and battle. Even though everyone else agreed. Tetsu makes the decision to join them as well. Shinpei expresses gratitude toward them, and at that time, a flicker happens and he finds himself prior at home, making him keep thinking about whether he passed on and circled back.